Hello. I don't know what the very first sound that you just heard was, but I cleared my throat and then I turned the mic on. So maybe you heard the latter half of me clearing my throat. Oh, welcome. It's Tuesday somewhere. So this is going to be a very brief stream because we're just going to go through a few Nintendo powers and hear me out. Bacon cheddar bread, heated up, chocolate ice cream. It's good. It's actually good. I promise. And before you say that sounds like you're fucking high right now, it was my brother's idea when he was high. So I don't know, sometimes high people are cooking. Especially with food. Don't ever doubt something that a high person says about food. Cause they know what the fuck they're talking about. Always. Okay. So we were in, I think 1988 or something. I messed it up because I was scrolling to find some Play It Loud stuff. Just out of curiosity, and I didn't find anything, so I think we were in the September and October issue, I think. Nope. November, December? Were we not? Wait, I think this is stuff that we've done. Okay, give me a second here. We're like pretty close to Play It Loud. Like I can taste it. I can actually taste it. 1990. Okay, we're in the first issue of 1990. Give me a second here so I can show you what we're looking at. Give me more than 1 second because apparently I need it. All right. So January, February of 1990. All right, I don't remember what format I used. Did I use any format when I went through these before? It kind of seems like I was just talking and reading. So we'll do that. Is this like a Batman Game Boy game? This is also gonna happen a lot. It's gonna straight up say something that I asked the question about on the screen, and I'm not gonna acknowledge it. And you're gonna see it in the future. You're gonna be like, holy shit, she literally just looked straight at the word that she wanted like to know the answer of. Your internet connection is acting up. Stream keeps starting and stopping. Gonna have to duck out. Damn. That sucks. Alright, get a free Team Power Tip poster and help a friend earn his wings. Interesting. So this makes me, because this is very specifically about like your buddy, right? Your good friend. Was this before like girls played video games? Because I know that was always a thing, but was this before they ever even acknowledged that? Because I feel like we've seen female gamers in previous magazines. Is this a male-only club? Oh, clearly it is male-only. Look at this. All right, Batman. No, it looks like maybe an NES game. All right, I'm not gonna. This is too many words. Like I've been saying lately, this is too many words. I'm just gonna skip to. Oh yeah, this is good. Nose job. I can't help but notice something interesting about Mario. Over the past couple of years, his nose has dramatically changed shape. It used to be sharp and droopy in Donkey Kong. But now in Super Mario Bros. 2, it is more rounded and somewhat elevated. Has Mario, like many other successful superstars, had his nose fixed to improve his appearance? As far as we know, Jim, Mario has not undergone cosmetic surgery. Many famous characters do undergo gradual changes as they get older. I don't think that lines up to, like, someone's nose perking up. For example, compare early drawings of Disney's Mickey Mouse with today's version. Weird. They directly compare Mario to Mickey Mouse. And there's some example art that he definitely has something going on. Although he is in his small form in Donkey Kong. So I'm wondering if maybe just if there was a super mushroom in the original Donkey Kong, he probably would have had a rounder nose. All right, I actually haven't gotten a bite of both ice cream and bread. So let me go in for that. I also got chips, if that makes this meal any more appetizing to anyone. Okay. I recently read about Super Mario Bros. 3 and the Japanese Super Famicom in a competing magazine. I want to know why these things haven't been in Nintendo Power yet. Were you scooped on your own stuff? That's incredible, because I think this is literally distributed by Nintendo, isn't it? The reason these products have not made an appearance in Nintendo Power yet is because we focus on games that are out now, or soon will be available for the American NES. Now that Super Mario Bros. 3 is closer to being released here in the US, you can expect to see a lot more about it in Nintendo Power. As for the Super Famicom, that system is not yet out in Japan. Another reason we do not review products too far in advance is because changes are sometimes made before the game is actually released. Our goal is to deliver information that is both timely and accurate. Okay, well, here's the thing. There's been a lot of instances where you see things in these old magazines. I don't know if Nintendo Power is guilty of it, but there is a lot of, like, lost media that stems from looking at these old magazines and seeing things that were announced. And there's even screenshots of these games, like prototypes, are shown off to these like reviewers or whatever, and they put in their 2 cents about the game before it comes out, and then sometimes they don't even come out at all. I'm wondering if maybe Nintendo just didn't do anything like that. Like, they made it extra sure, which is why they are so late in their documentation of it, which is really weird, because I don't know. There's good and bad to that. I think it's mostly bad because, you know, people always want the news as soon as possible. Like, when they can hear about something, they want to hear about it as quickly as possible. And instead of showing stuff as quickly as possible in these, they decided to go with accuracy instead. Alright. We always gotta read this power player profile. This is like the real shit right here. Jeff Gilkey, age 16. The reason I feel I am a power player is I can usually solve any game. Again, with the game solving. Well, are we gonna bring this back? Because, like, I've never heard anyone ever say solve a game. But apparently they used to be like Rubik's Cubes. I can usually solve any game I get my hands on within 5 days. Some of my more outstanding accomplishments are solving the Goonies 2 in 1 day, scoring over 3 million in Mega Man, and solving Super Mario Bros. 2 with 72 lives left over. Now there's probably, I don't know if Mario 2 has this, but there's usually infinite lives glitches, so it's not very impressive nowadays. My friends at school call me Nintendo Man because I can usually answer a question about a game whether I've played it or not. Thanks to the time I spend reading Nintendo Power. Okay. You can see why he made it in here. Kind of a suck up, huh? My favorite game has to be The Legend of Zelda. The variety of enemies and helpful items make it a great challenge. And with the second quest, I don't get bored doing the exact same thing over and over again. Some of my best tips are, in Dragon Warrior, be patient and raise levels before you go adventuring too far. Alright, dude invented grinding. There's no way to finish a game like this overnight. It takes time and thought. Does grinding really take thought? I feel like that's like kind of brute forcing a game a little bit, isn't it? In stage 5 of Blaster Master, when looking for the monster crab, don't leave your vehicle until you have to. Otherwise, you may find that you have no way to get back to it. Alright, I don't know if there's one Blaster Master game, but I was playing that, I think, the other day. I was playing a Game Boy one. They have it on Switch, online. A madman has taken over Gotham City, and the only one soul has the power, the will, and the means to stop him. Batman begins his search for the Joker. Okay, so I mean, this is... Have we zoomed in before? Oh, that's zooming out. I mean, this shit is tiny. Why is it so tiny? Like, I imagine even if you're holding the magazine in your hand, that's Seinfeld color scheme right there. That's so Seinfeld. But yeah, I imagine even if you're looking at the magazine itself, that's tiny, dude. I mean, come on. That's easier to see. Bro stands up like he's about to play the Xbox. It's his turn on the Xbox. Now this is, I think, one of those classics. I think this one was actually really good. Did it say the console? I think it's got to be NES because it's in color, right? It's not saying. Well, I'm sure it is saying, but I'm not looking at all that little, all the little text. Batman NES. Oh yeah, this is the one. 93% liked this video game. Now, what did people think of it at the time? Because that's usually a different story. Oh, I thought that was 31 out of 100. I was like, no way. Yeah, so this game was pretty good. I do have some embedded nostalgia for Batman games, but I think it was the Game Boy one that I played. I played a lot of Game Boy games when I was younger. Like, I played the Game Boy Mortal Kombat. I thought was pretty sick, but that one's not very beloved. Have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? That's actually just a quote from the movie, isn't it? Plan your jumps carefully and attack Heatwave when his guard is down. So I don't very often go over like these like that straight up I usually just like to look at the art and stuff. Cause like what am I gonna do with this information unless I'm just actually playing the game right now? The most interesting stuff to look at for me is like games that I've played before, like Mario games and things like that. But yeah, I'll read the info because I don't know this game. A brooding mystery in an ancient castle. Are they gonna pitch this game to me? Is it gonna be interesting enough for me to pick up myself? From the world of PCs. That's politically correct for those who are out of the loop. The boundaries of your NES will open wide with Shadowgate, a PC-type mystery adventure. Here, the action takes place in your own imagination, aided by bold graphics and a unique cursor-guided selection screen. Now, this game could have been good, but when they do the cursor, dude, I feel like that's, at least nowadays, not many people are gonna go for a game like that. From the moment you stand before the gate of the castle to the final struggle against the dark power of Warlock Lord, that's kind of a cringe name, your fate will be decided by the choices you make. It is not an easy task. The land of Tarkus has... Okay, that's a cooler name. Why can't that be the Warlock's name? Ghoulish servants of Warlock Lord. His chief stronghold is the most ancient... Okay, this is interesting. I don't know if I've even heard of this. Well, obviously I haven't heard of it, but this is not anything that I've like... This is kind of cool a little bit. Like in like a bad kind of way. Like I feel like this would be kind of shit to play. I feel like this would be on an AVGN episode. But before I say that for sure, I'm gonna look it up before I talk like complete shit. So that's what the actual one looks like. 9 out of 10 on... Okay, this is... Is this the NES one, though? That's the thing. They are completely different games. Because the NES could not handle anything that the PC could handle at the time. Probably one of my favorite NES games. The sense of adventure playing this was like no other for me. Anyone else? Okay, so people liked it. People like this game. Oh, you can... Oh, that's kind of... Alright. Might add this one to the playlist. Might add this one to the wish list. That's kind of a steep price for an old game. But... You can toggle the NES stuff. That's a sick feature. Dragon Breath. Dragons jealously guard their hoards of treasure. Why would that be jealous? That's not what you mean. It will protect you from the dragon's flaming breath. Oh, first take the shield. That doesn't... It's jealously. That's just someone trying to impress someone with their writing, but they don't actually know what they're saying. Deadly peril lies ahead. Yeah, this could be sick. I mean, I was talking a lot of shit at first, but I think I kind of dig it. The making of Super Mario Bros. 3. A behind-the-scenes look. Video games combine the best aspects of cartoon animation and computer programming to create a magical world of entertainment. Yeah, I think that's the biggest appeal of video games. Like, that's always been what drew me into them, is you can have the great visuals that a cartoon can have, but you also kind of control your own fun. I love that about it. And that's the most basic shit that I could have said about that, right? I mean, they were saying it back in 1990. It's just true. It's just a fact. As a result of a mix of two rather diverse fields, it requires the talents of many people to produce a video game. Based on the number of letters and game ideas we receive here at Nintendo, we know that many fans are interested in knowing about how video games are created, so we decided to find out a little more about what is involved in designing a game ourselves. Super Mario Bros. 3 was an obvious choice, and to find something out about the stories behind the characters and the kinds of things that were done during the design process, we went right to the source. Nintendo company, Kyoto, Japan. Makes sense. I do remember hearing things about like Tokyo and Kyoto. I think I remember hearing that they just liked Kyoto better. Like Tokyo would have made more sense to base their company in, But they were like, we kind of fuck with Kyoto more, so we're just gonna stay here in Kyoto. And then they did so, and it's like, that's cool. I think it inspired a lot of their work too. It made it so they could, like, do more of what they wanted to do. They felt more comfortable there, which is good. It's good to have an environment like that. Where it all began, design work and programming on almost all games developed by Nintendo is done by the staff of NCL's Nintendo Company Ltd. Research and development departments. Some are also done by independent software companies like Rare. Each Nintendo's R&D teams competes to come up with the best ideas, and each team member works hard to make sure his or her own contributions find their way into the final program. We interviewed Mr. Shigeru Miyamoto, project head in charge of development on SMB3. He was intensely involved with the game at the very beginning idea stages, and then at the end in the final polishing of the concept. Throughout, he offered the other programmers and designers helpful advice, ideas, and guidance. He was happy to take a time out of his busy schedule to give us some inside information on SMB3. I don't know if they knew how huge this was. I kind of assumed that they were always working alongside him anyways, but the fact that they apparently weren't and they finally were now, that's kind of cool. A new look for Mario. In each of the previous SMB games, Mario gained new power-ups. So in SMB 3, Mr. Miyamoto and other designers wanted to invent yet another new, interesting way for Mario to power up. Their initial ideas tended toward having Mario turn into some sort of creature. Concept that was rejected by having Mario power up as a centaur. I think I remember hearing that. The idea of what they finally settled on was to give Mario a tail and the ability of flight. The first tail concept, that of a raccoon tail, was the one that finally stuck. I'm sorry to say there isn't a funny story behind why we chose the raccoon tail. We thought the raccoon tail worked best from a practical point of view and fit right in with Mario's style. It also created some great new gameplay possibilities. So this is probably the first that people have seen of like these little different forms, right? And I think it's funny that they were like, we thought of turning him into an animal creature, but we decided not to. But basically they do. Basically they do with these. Now I haven't played Mario 3 that much. Like I played it for a bit. I don't remember why there's a Tanuki suit and then just like the Tanuki ears. I don't remember what the difference is. And I feel kind of dumb for admitting that. Also, that's like concept art. It's impossible to see. There's no way you could see this on the original magazine. It's cool that it's there, but it's kind of shit quality. Very hard to see. Game designer profile. Shigeru Miyamoto, or Dr. Miyamoto as he's known by his fans, has been involved in the video game industry since 1977, when he started working at Nintendo Company Ltd, designing characters and artwork for arcade games. The first game he actually directed, design and artwork on was Donkey Kong in 1980, and he was actually a fucking infant baby when he did that. He was really young when he did that, wasn't he? How old was... I don't know why I'm doing this in a different tab. Bear with me. How old was Miyamoto when he died? Don't fucking say that, Google. When he worked on... wait, I'm just gonna look up. How old was Miyamoto in 1977? About 25... Okay, about 25 years... It's two ways to look at that. It's kind of old. That's older than I was that I remembered. But that's also really fucking young to be one of the earliest video game developers and one of the most influential, if not the most influential video game developer ever. At 25. I'm almost 25. I'm almost 25 and I'm not doing anything nearly like that. That's insane. As everyone knows, this was the big hit that brought Nintendo into world prominence. Quite a good first outing. Since then, Miyamoto has had his hand in just about every hit game from Nintendo. Can you see my mouse? I'm gonna have to click the screen again. He's in charge of directing the development of the Super Mario Bros. Series, and he also worked on design and development of the Zelda series. A typical working day for Mr. Miyamoto starts at a flexible time in the morning and sometimes lasts until the wee hours of the morning. During a typical day, he will check on the 6 or 7 software projects for which he is supervising the development. This guy is insane. Is he getting rest? I thought Sakurai had it bad. But I feel like Sakurai kind of whines when, like, look at all. I'm not, like, not to be mean or anything, but look at all this shit that Miyamoto was doing apparently. And I don't know how much supervision he currently does. I imagine back then he did a ton of development. I'm sure of it. But he does probably a very similar amount of supervision now. Does he not? You got the Marios, the Donkey Kongs, the Warios, the Yoshis. You got all this shit coming out. And they're all his babies, basically. He also spends a lot of time traveling around and meeting people in other creative fields to get inspiration for game ideas. That's crazy. That's pretty good. Among Miyamoto's current projects are planning games for the Super Famicom, Mario Bros. 4 and Zelda 3. He's also working with Shigesato Itoi. I should know how to say that by now. That's the guy who made the Mother games, right? I think. Another famous Japanese copywriter on the role-playing game set in modern times that will probably be available for NES next year. Yeah. Miyamoto enjoys his job and says he has always wanted to design games. He has a BA in industrial design from Kanazawa. He makes his home in Kyoto with his wife and 2 children. A son age 4 and daughter age 2. When he's not busy designing games, he likes to listen to music and play bluegrass. He plays bluegrass. He also collects musical instruments and owns 2 guitars, a banjo and a mandolin, among others. Okay. So, alright. I mean, I guess we know now why Wii Music happened and why he performed during that. Willow. Huh. There's a lot of fantasy stuff. Fantasy was just popular at the time, wasn't it? I'm surprised. I'm just surprised that the front cover was Joker and not like some fantasy character. You know what I mean? Like, that would have pitched it a little bit better, I think. Honestly, I'm sorry. I mean, yeah. You're stuck. Retrace your steps. If I capture you, I will take the spirit's crest to my mother, Bavmarda. I'm sorry if you like fantasy stuff. This is just so dull to me. Double Dragon 2. Last time out, Billy and Jimmy Lee were on opposite sides in a struggle over the lovely Marion. Now Marion has been gunned down by the Black Shadow Warriors, a mysterious group of thugs and hired guns that run most of the organized crime activities in New York City. And Billy and Jimmy have set aside their differences in a quest for vengeance. No one is sure exactly what King Rat runs this pile of garbage called the Black Shadow Warriors, but you can bet that Billy and Jimmy are about to find out. It's kind of sad. She just dies. Billy and Jimmy decide to take the fight to the enemy and march defiantly into Black Shadow Warrior turf. They are looking for a fight, and from the looks of this neighborhood, chances are that they'll find one. Yeah, this is a beat 'em up. I'm aware of Double Dragon, and I'm also aware that it crossed over with Battletoads. And I just played Battletoads for the first time the other day. I'm sad to admit that it took me this long to play it, but it is such a gorgeous game. Rare, I don't know what happened to Rare all these years later, but God, they knew how to make games back then. Sorry, I'm still taking bites. I apologize. Does that say mission? Why does it say mission? Mission. Did they predict Mies back in 1990? I can't believe that shit, man. When an enemy goes, so does his weapon. Okay. Billy and Jimmy's quest for revenge has only just begun, but neither will rest until someone pays for Marion's life. That's raw. That's pretty raw. Off the beach and into your home. Beach volleyball 2-on-2 on the sand court under the summer sun. Formerly the sport of beach bums alone, it is now set to bump up the big time, with circuits all over the country and the possibility of being an exhibition. Why is this so hard for me to read right now? It's just the way that it's like, I don't know, the combination of the background and like the weird phrasing, I think, a little bit. Super Spike V-Ball from the, I think reading something from longer than 10 years ago, I never know like how to go about it, because it's like they could say anything back then. You have to tread carefully, because not only could they just casually drop some like real offensive thing, but they also they just spoke differently in general. To execute the super spike when the ball is set by the net. Yeah, these are hard to read. Jump and then quickly press the B button several times until your hand glows. Then press A to spike the ball into the sand. See, that thing alone would have been very helpful for me playing one of these games, because I always get stuck on games like this, playing them for the first time, because I'm like, what button do you press to start? And then I press a button, something kind of happens, and then I fail, and then I'm like, huh, maybe this game's just bad, and then I just don't play it. But it's as simple as that sometimes. Great play control makes for easy play. Is it this isn't on NSO right now, is it? I know there are some like tennis and volleyball. I think there's volleyball games on there. George and Murphy are the best all-around players. Strong spikers. AI and John make up for their lack of finesse with powerful spikes. Wait, you can skip a bunch of pages if you want to. Why would it let you do that? Clash at Demon Head. The man and the mission. There I was, catching some rays at the beach when headquarters called. They had another impossible mission for me. I'm the one they always call when it's crunch time. I'm Sergeant Billy Big Bang Blitz of Saber. And I'm the best at what I do, busting bad guys. In Clash at Demon Head, you guide Sergeant Bang through the twisted oh, this isn't him anymore. In Clash at Demon Head, you guide Sergeant Bang through the twisted passages of Demon Head in search of kidnapped professor and his doomsday bomb. This is like insane. This takes everything that was popular at the time, and it just brought it together. You got fucking skeletons. You got fantasy monsters. You got sci-fi. That's everything. That's everything, babe. Now, the gameplay, I have seen a little bit of it. I think I was watching John Riggs play. Shout out to John Riggs. I think it was one of his recommendations one time. And I'm kind of curious to check it out at some point. I don't know if I'll want to do a full playthrough unless it's actually like beatable for people who haven't played games like this back then. But I want to play it because, excuse me, by the way, I want to play it because it's referenced in Scott Pilgrim. That's the name of one of the bands, right? That's the name of what's her name's band. Like Envy, I think her name is. I don't remember. I've only watched the movie like 20 times. Guys, this isn't so tough. Shoot him in the horn and then quickly jump over his fire. Okay, this is literally just telling you how to beat the entire game. That's spoilers, my friend. River City Ransom. Is this the first one? It's a long road to the top. Slick's managed to make himself king of the hill. But that doesn't mean he should start throwing his weight around. He's taken Ryan's girlfriend and holed up in the high school. Just waiting to see what Ryan will do. Better grab your map and your bruising buddy Alex, because there's work to do. Slick's gotta learn. There are people that you just don't mess with. This is so funny. This is how they advertise this game, just with these silly little sprites. Because I always thought, I mean, I feel like this is one of the games that you gotta make renders for. Like, those are cute for in the game, but just showing them outright like this is really whack. But yeah, there's like an extended lore to this game now that River City Girls is out. Because I think those games are directly linked to these games, right? Slick's men are awful tight-lipped. You'll need to get a little information from each of them just to find out where the next one is. Make sure you pay attention to what they say or you'll never make it to school on time. If you miss any of them, try coming back, as they often reappear. That's a good tip. That's something that I'd get fucked up on too. The man behind the slaughter. Did your favorite game make it to America's top 30? Oh, these are new titles in the top 30? Marble Madness, Strider, Metal Gear. Did they talk about Metal Gear at all? They just shadow dropped Metal Gear? Craziness, dude. Dino Wars. Hey, that's an entire map of River City Ransom. Golf Boxel Quirk, Solar Striker, etc. Right. Okay. Okay. Now if I remember correctly, Mario Golf or Mario, I think it was Mario Golf, had some OCs in it. Like, there's some characters other than Mario characters in this game that have never returned. Let me see if I'm right. Mario Golf was the first one actually on... Oh, there was an NES one. Original characters. Oh, they're human characters in Mario games. Who are these people? Nintendo 64. What? I mean, that's spoilers for future Nintendo powers, but like, is that Baby Mario? I don't know shit about this one, about Mario Golf for the N64. it's like, this is like for me, this is like the missing link Mario game. Because I know about a lot of Mario stuff, and I'm aware of these characters because I'm the one who just mentioned them. But I didn't know that Baby Mario was in this game. I didn't know that whoever that is was in this game. Yeah, I'll definitely have to try that out at some point. This one's a real puzzler in a warehouse with little room to move. It's your job to put bulky boxes in the proper places. Okay. Oh, I see. It's a simple puzzle game. Quirk. A hip tomato with shades and a sense for adventure. Must work out the many mysteries of the underground maze to find Tammy. So these are 2 puzzle games and then just a sports game. What was it called? Quirk? Oh my goodness! Oh, I would have bought this for sure when I was a kid. You kidding me? Just from that art. Like, the art was so good back then. These, I mean, this is, just looking at this, is so nostalgic for me. Okay, my stream is trying to reconnect right now. Give me a second here. It's still recording, so you can hear me if you're watching this on YouTube, and maybe if it's even making it in on Steam, but guess my internet's just fucking gone right now. This might be a really good time for me to I'm gonna pull up the BRB screen real quick. And then I'm just going to eat some ice cream until it fixes itself. Because I still have to finish that. Okay, it looks like my internet is actually just straight up off, which is frustrating as hell. Cause like, what can I even do about that other than restart it? But then I restart it, and then I have to wait for it to fully reconnect. I just wanted to do one quick stream, that's all. But apparently I can't just do that. Apparently that's not allowed. Okay, it's reconnected. Okay. Cool. I really hope that that's the end of that, because that's so fucked. Like, Sometimes my internet goes off, but I'm not used to it just like full stopping for that long. That's ridiculous. And then it creates like a whole new stream, which is annoying because I can only do this for like 20 more minutes. God damn. Okay. But yeah, we were just looking at Quirk. Yeah, if this is really nostalgic for me just looking at this art, even though I've never seen this in my life. It's just like a very common art style from Game Boy games, and I'm wondering if they just commissioned the same artist, all of them, because it all just looked like that. Oh yeah, Solar Striker. New for Game Boy, Bugs Bunny. Roger, who? The rabbit that knows where it's at is Bugs Bunny. That's kind of a weird thing because they're competing with their own IP. Which, I mean, I don't think that makes much sense at all. Unless, I mean, it's like, it's a little jab at their own team. Kinda, I guess. Word has it that this Gradius style game from Konami, maybe for Game Boy later this year. Rumors are many on the Game Boy development front. Before the year's over, we may see upwards of 40 titles. The possibilities include Hit and Sync Warship game, which should be fun for the video link ups. A Game Boy adventure for Acclaim's character Kuros of Wizards and Warriors fame, and a Spider-Man game from LJN. No joy. We'll keep you posted. A new chapter in the swashbuckling NES adventures of Mario and Luigi begins soon. The Mushroom Worlds are threatened by Bowser the Koopa King and his 7 evil Koopa children. It's up to the brothers to save the day. Oh god. This kind of hurts to look at a little bit. Like the differing styles of like these crusty old like photographs of televisions. And then this nice art of the power-up suits and stuff. So there's Raccoon, oh right, there's Raccoon Mario and there's Tanuki Mario. Did they discuss the difference between them? Because I don't really remember what it would have been. I do want to look up what swashbuckling means, because I don't... Does that apply? Oh, okay. Engaging in daring and romantic adventures of bravado and flamboyance. That's... Why is it often used... Why is it so often used for pirates, though? Because it doesn't have anything to do with pirate stuff. Well, I guess it does in this instance, too, but, like... That's kind of strange to me, a little bit. The Mushroom Kingdom, which Mario encountered in the original Super Mario Bros., was actually only the entrance to the 7 Mushroom Worlds. Each of the worlds, grassland, desert, ocean, giants, sky, ice, and pipes, has many sections adding to the depth of the challenge of Mario's adventure. And challenge. As the names of the worlds suggest, they all have different terrain, but each has some common features. Walk, run, jump, duck, slide, swim, warp, fly. The items you get from Toad or the Hammer Bros can be stored in the smallest... okay. Do they talk about the power-ups here? New kinds of blocks. Alright. You have more tricks and items than ever, Mario. Hurry up and save our world. That's it? That's all they say about it? All right. That's cool. I just thought, since we were like halfway through, just the entire rest of the book would be about Super Mario 3. Like, that would make sense. God, that's horrible to look at. That's impossible to read. After defeating enemies, what is this? Is this a shmup? Oh, it's an anime game. I hate that they did this with the art because, like, that's a little nice, but it's also kind of not. Like, the female characters look fine. I don't know if this is my bias, but the female characters look fine, and this guy looks horrendous. He looks horrifying. Even the skeleton looks fine. This guy just looks horrible. Astyanax. Box art. I want to see the box art. There's no way that's the original box art. There's no way. Unless this isn't a Japanese game, which why wouldn't it be? Really? But why does the game look like this? And then the box art looks like this? What company is this? Jellico? Oh, that's not. Yeah, no, this is a Japanese company. Why did their box art look so horrible? Dino Wars. Now that's kind of raw. It's like a giant dinosaur. I mean, what's cooler than that? A giant robotic dinosaur, no less. Hark, hark, the great dragon warrior Nestor has come to the Tentagel Castle. He has come for the Stone of Sunlight, which he needs to complete his quest. 'Tis said that it lies beneath this very castle. Stand aside, folks. What? Shit broke. This may be tougher than I thought. Have you tried going out the back door and walking around the edge of the castle? There's an entrance there. Yeah, sure. I suppose all I have to do is knock. As a matter of fact, do I look like I was born yesterday? Boom. Okay. Abracazam. I've got to think of a way down there. Why was the X on the ground? Oh, he drew that on the ground when he went in there. Wow. He's so extra. Alright, how do I get past the warehouse? Yeah, this is all questions and answers. This is the section where you, like, these are, like, commonly asked questions that people are like, how do you beat this and how do you do it? I still want to play Monster Party pretty bad. Hobbies, camping, computers, play-by-mail games. Highest game score finished. Oh, the Ambition game. Nobunaga's. Nobunaga's. I don't know how to pronounce it. The Ambition. But that's their favorite NES game. That's the one that I think crossed over with Pokemon, right? Russian Attack. Dragon Warrior? God, he does not look like a Dragon Warrior fan, but that's cool. Jeff Hazard. There's no way that's his real name. I'm waiting for your letters. Oh wow, it just has like all the stuff to write to them for help. Classified information. Ooh. Mega Man 2. Starfield background shown after you have selected a stage can take an odd transformation with a quick and easy maneuver. After you have decided which stage you would like to go to, and the border around that stage leader is flashing, press and hold the A and B buttons and press the start button. The stars will change to bird-like creatures, which inhabit many of the stages. You won't be seeing stars anymore. I thought that said Iguanardian. The Guardian Legend. Our agents have found a way to fly through the abbreviated mission in this challenger. You'll be able to fly through this just the space scenes and skip the labyrinths by entering the initials of the game as your password. After you complete each space scene, you'll receive special items. Invincible Icarus? Oh, I need this shit. There's no way I'm beating this game without that. Medusa's minions will be no match for a powerful Pit when he has the benefit of special password that our agents have developed. The hero of this classic adventure will be invincible and will start at the beginning of the overworld fortress after you enter the password. Icarus fights Medusa angels. The points will be phenomenal too. You're sure to receive the best ending with this code. That's a lot of letters to type in. I'll try to remember that. I'll try to remember the existence of that though. Like for if I ever play this and I get tired of dying over and over, then I'll just type that in and be like, hey, I knew this. Bad dudes. There are a few new variations to the challenge in this world-stomping thriller. In this earth-stomping thriller. I guess it doesn't really matter which one I say. Certain word codes will allow Godzilla and Mothra to take on different enemy arrangements. Oh, it's like a chess game, kinda. The most awesome challenge awaits when our horrific heroes take on the whole bunch all at once. This can be done by entering code Destroy All Monsters. There's no letter O in the code system, so use 0 instead. To meet only Monster 0 in the head-to-head battle at the very beginning, enter code Monster O. You can also sit back and... okay. Start to end. Okay. What? Coin collection. Mario's fortune will be multiplied many times over when you follow a simple maneuver involving coin collection. In World 2-3, where Mario takes the Marine Pop out for undersea adventure, he'll find his name spelled out in coins. Collect as many of the coins as you possibly can and break out the bricks of the next wall section to uncover a 1-up heart. Before Mario hits the next wall, run into an enemy. Mario will start over again just before the coin letters, and the total number of lives will not be affected because you collected the 1-up heart. Repeat this procedure and continue to collect as many coins as you can. For every 100 coins that you collect, you'll receive a 1-up. That's like the very... isn't that the very end? Is it not? That game is really short, I remember. There might actually just be 2 worlds. How many worlds are in Mario Land? Eight worlds. Okay, so I guess I'm completely wrong. But I beat that game on stream, so I don't remember that being so early in the game. That's pretty sick though. Coins are very important in that game, so that's a really good trick to learn. DuckTales. New games now available. This is like a really, I don't know, there's something about these pages. It's kind of hard to know what to look at first, you know? There's like no, there's no focal points. It's just like words and pictures that look all very similar to each other. There's something for all tastes in new games this issue. Infiltrator features 2 kinds of military missions: flight simulation and on-the-ground action. The Chessmaster tests your chess strategies and gives tips for high-level play. Short Order Explode is a double game pack for high-energy power pad pandemonium. Check them out. Hey, Captain Johnny Jimbo Baby McGibbets. Excuse me? Did you just sneeze? He's on the trail of the evil mad leader. What? How are you gonna name... How are you gonna give the protagonist a name like that? And then the antagonist's name is just Mad Leader. Captain Johnny Jimbo Baby McGibbets, aka the Infiltrator. That's like the most pretentious thing I've ever heard in my life. That's like a pickup line. This dude's pickup line is just saying his title. There are 3 enemy bases that Johnny must fly to in his whiz-bang Enterprises Gizmo. Okay, I'm done with that shit. What? That's so much. The options are many in this excellent NES version of chess. Take on the chess master in any of the 16 skill levels, or play against another person. The chess master gives you ideas for possible moves, or it can let you figure it out for yourself. Step back and look at your past moves, and charge ahead and attack. That's the one thing that I thought was really cool about, I mean, JRPGs have developed this more recently. Like, I think it's fairly common now for them to have the auto play feature where it just kind of plays itself for you. But back then that was like a cool feature. Like Earthbound has that. I don't remember if Mother 1 has that, but I think it might. Where it picks the best options for you. And part of me is like, why are you playing a game if you don't want to play the game? But another part of me is, nice, I can watch this game play itself and just listen to the music. Like, it is possible to lose, right, when you do the auto thing, because I think for the most part it doesn't go into your items at all. It just kind of fights, so you kind of have to be smart with when you do it. Let's pull out the power pad and have some fun. There are 2 games here that's better than 1. Short Order is a fast food hop. Explode is so wild that you just can't stop. Exercise and test your mind. Better time is hard to find. Okay, Gruntilda. Alright. See, Nintendo's been trying to get their fans to like touch grass and exercise since the first console. Since the NES, they've been telling you to exercise. And I think that's very interesting because there is an NES exercise bike. That's a thing that you can get. Yep. See that? And it has like a built-in TV and everything. I think the problem is there was only like 1 game for it, but this is a cool... I feel like this is a cool thing to own as like a collector, right? And I don't know for sure, but I mean, let me check on my other tab. I don't want it to like give away my address or anything like that. I'm just gonna check the shopping tab. There's a SNES one that's for sale. Yeah, I don't know. These might have just like broke because I don't know if they were like delicate or something, but I do remember I watched like one video on it before. And there was like something about it. Like I think it's just the fact that there was only 1 game for it. No one wanted to buy an entire reticle that big for just one game. But I imagine the power pad was like a Dance Dance Revolution thing. Yeah, this is basically just like a Dance Dance Revolution thing. Moss Burger. Sewer Burger. Big Quack. Okay, this game looks interesting, but also you have to have an accessory for it. That's probably hard to come by now. Equal but opposing forces meet in a battle for the occupation of the common land. This is Archon, which, like chess, is a strategy game on a square checkerboard, with pieces that have their own unique moves. Well, a chessboard is 8 squares by 8, though. The board for this game is 9 squares by 9. The goal of Archon is to take over the squares in the center of each side, and the center of the board. When your fighters meet those of the opposing side in the same square, hand-to-hand combat will ensue. Only the best fighter will win and gain control of the square. You can choose to control the army on the light side or the dark side, against the computer or against another player. Protect your leader as you make your way across the board to claim victory. That's a cool concept. It's just chess, but like JRPG or something. I can dig it. So this game, this one over here, Dig Dug 11. I really just called it that. So Dig Dug 11 is on the NSO, and I keep playing it, thinking, oh, maybe this will like fill the niche of the first game. Maybe this will be as fun as the first game. But no, it doesn't. It does not. It does not. It's so different. At least in my opinion, it's so different that it's just not fun if you want to play Dig Dug 1. Let's see what they say about it, though. In this new version of the arcade classic Dig Dug. New version. The action is now seen from an overhead view. Yeah, that's their first mistake. The same enemies are back, though, and your only weapon is again an air hose that you must use to inflate and pop the enemies before they reach you. You can easily walk over the cracks in the ground, and as your enemies flow over the cracks, hose them. Keep moving, those creepy creatures are always headed your way. Yeah, no, this is awful. The overhead is awful. You have to like break the land so that they like fall into the water, but I always end up I don't understand how breaking the land works, because I always end up like Wile E. Coyoteing myself and like falling into the water myself. It's not good. It's no good. Players poll winners, whip it up. The dream of any Nintendo players, a tour of Nintendo headquarters, was recently realized by the 5 winners of Nintendo Power's July-August Players Poll Contest. The lucky winners came from all over the US and received the red carpet treatment at Nintendo. Right after arriving at SeaTac Airport, they were whisked to Nintendo headquarters for a whirlwind tour. Many of the things they saw amazed them, especially the scale of the operations. It was a lot bigger than we expected, was one comment. Now, if you could take a time machine back from today to back then, I feel like it'd be a lot smaller than you expected, right? Because back then they didn't really have much of a scale to work off of. Like they were just getting home computers back then. So they were like, oh, you could just use a computer to make a video game, right? I imagine it wasn't that huge of a project, at least by today's standards. After a night's rest, the group was taken on a guided tour of Seattle, catching such sights as the Pacific Science Center, the Space Needle, the monorail, and Pike Place Market. Meeting with Howard. That's him! The guy from the comics! All the walking around left the guys and their guides exhausted. On Sunday, it was off to the Kingdome for the Seattle Seahawks versus the Kansas City Chiefs, where the Hawks fought to the finish with a close and exciting game, only to lose in the final minute. Wow. That's crazy. Monday was a big day that started off with breakfast with Howard Phillips. Howard amply demonstrated why he was known as the Game Master by dazzling the winners with game trivia and inside information. After breakfast, the winners got to play and evaluate the hot future games: Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Spike V-Ball, Batman, and River City Ransom. Then it was back to Nintendo headquarters for a session with the gameplay counselors, playing games and listening in on calls. It was a great opportunity to get those tough gameplay questions answered by the pros in person. Yeah, that was probably like life-changing. That's probably they remembered this and are remembering this for the rest of their lives for sure. Like back then you had to call them, and it might have been the same people that they would have called, maybe. I'm not sure, but it's just magical, especially like back then. This was an incredible journey, I'm sure, but looking back on it from today, I feel like makes it even more incredible, because there's nothing quite like this that exists now. You know what I mean? Like, you don't really, because of the internet, there's no like Nintendo, you don't call Nintendo to ask how to beat their games anymore. You like look it up, or they have like maybe frequently asked questions on their website that they answer. But there was a certain personable nature that the company had when they let you call them, and they kind of sort of encouraged visitation a little bit. Like, obviously it was very exclusive. They're like, you can't come in here, but they made it seem like the Nintendo of America location was a very warm and like homey place, if that makes any sense at all. Whereas now it has more of a corporate feel. I don't know, I see a lot of pictures nowadays from like back then where they had like decals of the characters on the walls. I remember seeing let me see if I could find it. There was like a decal, Nintendo of America, Banjo Kazooie wall. I don't know if this will, because they had like Mumbo Jumbo on their wall next to like Mario characters. It was amazing. It was kind of sad in retrospect. That'd be 1990s, right? Yeah, no, this is gonna be impossible to find unless I know exactly what to search. Yeah, instead of showing me Nintendo of America, maybe headquarters? I don't know, I'll try like one or two more searches. Yeah, I don't know. If I find it though, I'll save it and then I'll share it on here. But yeah, this was huge. This was huge. Stephen First. Am I supposed to know who that is? Actor Stephen First and Super Mario Bros. Formed the NES Dream Team. Who is this? Who is this? This isn't real. Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. I've never heard of any of these. The Dream Team? I might have heard of Up the Creek. Pack Watch. Look into the future games of NES game packs. Super C. Contrary to speculation, there will be a NES sequel to everyone's favorite combat action game from Konami. Hint, the one with the controversial title. Just say Contra. In Super C, Paul and Vince, Super Action Commandos, return to fight a menacing invasion of blue-skinned alien humanoids. Super C features great graphics and the two-player simultaneous play control that made its predecessor so popular. Here's a sneak peek at what is certainly one of the longest awaited sequels for the NES. No way Super C made it to the NES. Is it Super Contra? Is that what it's called? Oh, right. That one was actually delayed until Nintendo Switch. I forgot. Yeah, it's pretty sad, actually. MTV's remote control combines television, music, and trivia in a wild mix that's sure to please most power-playing TV nuts. The game really captures the game show's wacky style with its silly questions and strange-looking contestants. It also has some of the same tasteless humor, so if you can't take a joke, you might want to turn the channel. Remote control has a large variety of questions to keep even the most advanced couch potato occupied for a long time. The host's jokes can be repetitive, though. At least they're honest. I feel like that happened a lot with games. And I feel like even still that happens a lot with games. Like, they can only record so much dialogue or, like, write or code in so much written dialogue that repetition is going to happen now and then. Yeah, I feel like that's one thing that takes me out of games a lot is, like, when the characters, like, the grunts that they make when they get hit are just repeated. That always gets me. It always, like, pulls me out, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm playing a game. Shit. What song is this? Melody of the Mushrooms. I haven't talked about... I just casually threw these on the playlist without talking about them. So this is... how do I say it? It's from a hentai game. Are you allowed to say that on Twitch? Like, are you allowed to say that word? It's from a NSFW game, and I stumbled upon the music on, well, initially I saw it on Steam, and I was like, whoa, I don't really care for the content in this game, like, as far as, like, sexual content, but the gameplay, like, there's, like, platforming and stuff, looks good, the graphics look really nice, like, this is a really polished game. It's called Flip Witch Forbidden Sex Hex. And the music is, like, really, really good. So I was like, you know what? I'll just throw that in my playlist or whatever. It's not like I'm playing the game. It's just the music from it. And it's really solid music. But yeah, as you can see from the fact that I was like, ooh, this is kind of a banger. What is this from? Snake Rattle and Roll. So that's a rare game, right? Yeah, the courtesy of the programmers at Rare. This is one of the games that they recently added to NSO. I was playing this the other day, and it's actually really good. I like it a lot. I just didn't really get all that far. I don't know. I don't get far with old games. That's why I want to start playing them on here, so I can start actually committing to them. Because if I just throw one on, I'm like, if I get bored, I'll just stop. But if I play one on here, then I have like a motivation to keep pushing forward with it. But I guess with that said, there are some games that I do kind of want to use that format with. I have some plans. They're in very early process plans. But I guess I can kind of talk about them, because even if they don't happen, then I'm sure they'll happen. So I wanted to do something, I wanted to play games that I played throughout my, like, childhood. And I only wanted to play each one for, like, 10 to 20 minutes, just get a taste of them. And then I wanted to build up to a game that I wanted to play when I was younger, but I didn't have a chance to play. And that's a game that I've mentioned multiple times on here. One that I wanted to get working on PlayStation 2 that I wasn't able to get working until recently. And that is Silent Hill Shattered Memories. I think it would be more interesting if I build up to, like, it's sort of an occasion, make it sort of an event by building up to it. I think that would be a lot more fun than just being like, oh yeah, we're just playing this game now. And then there's another game that I kind of want to build up in a similar way. And this doesn't mean that I won't play the other games again. And it also doesn't mean that I'm just going to, like, do a solo stream of the games. I'm going to continue the games after this stream, but I just think having a build up would be more fun, you know? And another game, I think it'd be kind of weird a little bit, without, like, talking to my cousins about it beforehand. Because if you're just, like, talking about your cousins, and then, like, if they stumbled upon the stream or, like, the VOD or something, and then it's like, oh, this is just about me without me. But the idea is, I feel like everyone has this sort of thing where they went to a relative's house and played video games that they just never touched outside of that relative's house. And I do have a bunch of games that I went to my cousin's house, and I only really played there. And there's some that I did really play a little bit outside of there. But I think there are a lot that I primarily play there, and I have memories of playing there. And then we could build up to another game that I saw at their house, but never got a chance to play because it was single player. And I think I'll keep that one a little secret. So I got something under my belt that you gotta look forward to, you know, a little secret. A reason for you to watch the next stream. Maybe I'll mention it in my next stream, maybe not. Probably won't. All right, I think that is the end of the issue, though. Players poll contest. Let's see what are these prizes. Let's start with the 53rd place winners. A fabulous Nintendo Power jersey, a spiffy addition to your wardrobe. That is kind of spiffy. Not gonna lie, that's pretty spiffy. 15 second prizes. Many Smash NES games are based on blockbuster motion pictures. Second place winners will receive both NES game pack and the film it was based on in VHS format. Specific game pack and movie will be awarded by random drawing. You're going to give children Batman, probably not that bad. Friday the 13th, definitely not for kids. Friday on Elm Street. I could talk. It's fucking late. Give me a break. None of these, I don't think many of these movies are good for kids. The Three Stooges, I don't know if that even is a movie. Top Gun. RoboCop, Rambo, Predator. More than half of these movies are not suitable for children, but they just kind of were like, yeah, just take these games, kid. And the grand prize, an exclusive showing of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Nintendo Power gives you a chance to win an advanced look at what's sure to be one of the hottest films in the spring. You and up to 25 guests will be treated to a private sneak preview presentation of the new live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie courtesy of New Line Cinema. It's your big opportunity to be a power film critic. Be a power film critic. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles features action, special effects, tons of ninjas, and of course, the turtles. I laughed, I cried. I ate lots of popcorn. 2 thumbs up. Cool. All right, so that's it for tonight. It went on a little bit longer than I expected, but also I wasn't expecting it to crash halfway through, like full stop crash. So I thank you for viewing, and I thank you for sticking around, and I want to say fuck you to my internet provider, but I don't know if I have a good one that I'll probably want to stick around with in the future. I don't think it's Xfinity anymore that I'm hooked up to. But yeah, fuck you today for what happened today. And have a good night, everyone. Bye.